The grand ballroom of the Kensington estate gleamed like a jewel in the moonlight. Intricate chandeliers sparkled overhead, their warm glow casting an ethereal light on the hundreds of guests mingling below. The scent of fresh roses filled the air, mingling with the faint aroma of champagne. Alex Kensington, heir to one of the wealthiest families in the city, stood at the edge of the staircase, surveying the scene with an unreadable expression. This wasn't just another gala. This was a special night meant to celebrate his engagement to Sophia Langley, the woman who had captivated his heart from the moment they met. She was poised, graceful, and intelligent, the embodiment of everything he had ever wanted in a partner. Or so he thought. As his gaze swept over the crowd, it stopped on Sophia. She stood in the center of the room, surrounded by a group of admirers. Her silver gown shimmered as she laughed, her smile as radiant as ever. Alex felt a pang of pride watching her command the room with such ease. But as his eyes lingered, he caught a glimpse of something that sent a chill down his spine. "Excuse me," Sophia said sharply, her tone laced with irritation as she addressed a waiter. The young man, balancing a tray of drinks, had accidentally brushed against her arm. "Do you mind? These are designer." The waiter stammered an apology, his face flushed with embarrassment. Sophia waved him off with a dismissive gesture, her attention already back on her circle of admirers. The moment was fleeting, but for Alex, it might as well have been an eternity. He'd never seen her act that way before, cold, dismissive, even cruel. Was this just a lapse in judgment, a moment of frustration? Or was it a glimpse into her true nature? That night, Alex couldn't sleep. The image of Sophia's expression, the faint smirk as she dismissed the waiter, played on a loop in his mind. Was he overreacting? Everyone had bad moments. But the gnawing feeling in his chest wouldn't let him rest. As the hours stretched on, memories of their relationship surfaced. Their first meeting at a charity auction, where Sophia had passionately spoken about her vision to help underprivileged communities. Their late-night conversations about building a life together. Her insistence on organizing this very gala to raise funds for a local children's hospital. Could it all have been a facade? By morning, Alex had made a decision. He needed to know the truth. Not the carefully curated version of Sophia he saw in public, but the real her. The one who existed when no one was watching. And there was only one way to find out. The next day, Alex called his friend Liam, who managed the estate and staff. After explaining his plan, Liam hesitated. "You're serious? You want to work as a waiter at your own engagement gala?" "Yes," Alex said firmly. "If she doesn't know it's me, she'll show her true self." Liam sighed but eventually agreed. By the time the night of the gala arrived, Alex had traded his custom-tailored tuxedo for a waiter's uniform. The jacket was a size too small, and the bow tie felt constricting, but he ignored the discomfort. This was about more than appearances. As he stepped into the bustling kitchen, the hum of activity swallowed him whole. Trays clattered, servers rushed past, and chefs barked orders. For the first time in his life, Alex felt invisible. It was a stark contrast to the world of privilege he had always known. The gala was in full swing by the time Alex entered the ballroom. His heart raced as he maneuvered through the crowd, balancing a tray of champagne flutes. The chatter of the guests, the clinking of glasses, and the soft strains of classical music created a symphony of wealth and excess. Sophia was easy to spot. She stood near the center of the room, her laughter drawing people to her like moths to a flame. Alex watched as she greeted guests with warmth and grace, her every movement calculated to exude charm. But as the night wore on, cracks began to appear. "Excuse me, miss," an older woman said, approaching Sophia with a hesitant smile. "I just wanted to thank you for hosting such a wonderful event. My granddaughter was a beneficiary of your scholarship program." Sophia's smile faltered for a split second before she recovered. "Oh, how lovely," she said, her tone polite but distant. "I'm so glad we could make a difference." As the woman walked away, Sophia turned to her friend and whispered, "She could have just written a thank you note." Alex's chest tightened. It wasn't what she said, it was how she said it. Dismissive. Detached. For someone who claimed to care deeply about charity work, she seemed more concerned with appearances than the impact. Just as Alex was beginning to lose hope, he witnessed a moment that gave him pause. A young girl, no older than 7, had wandered away from her parents and stood near the edge of the ballroom, tears streaming down her face. Sophia knelt beside her, her expression softening. "Hey, sweetheart," she said gently. "What's wrong?" The girl sniffled. "I can't find my mommy." Sophia took the girl's hand, her voice soothing. "Don't worry. We'll find her together." Alex watched as Sophia led the girl through the crowd, her tone patient and kind. When they finally located the girl's mother, Sophia knelt again, brushing a strand of hair from the girl's face. "See, I told you everything would be okay." For a moment, Alex felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe he was wrong about her. Maybe she did have a kind heart. But as soon as the reunion was over, Sophia straightened, smoothing her gown. The warmth in her expression vanished as quickly as it had appeared. "Well, that's handled," she muttered, returning to her circle of friends without a second glance. Over the next few hours, Alex alternated between serving drinks and eavesdropping on conversations. The more he observed, the more conflicted he felt. Sophia was a paradox, capable of genuine kindness one moment and cold detachment the next. At one point, he struck up a conversation with another waiter, a young man named Ben. "What do you think of her?" Alex asked, nodding toward Sophia. Ben hesitated. "She's complicated," he said carefully. "She's polite enough, but you can tell she's used to getting her way. It's like she expects the world to revolve around her." The words stung, but Alex couldn't deny their truth. As the night drew to a close, Alex knew he couldn't keep up the charade any longer. He needed answers, and he needed them now. He approached Sophia as she stood near the bar, her attention focused on her phone. "Sophia," he said, his voice low but steady. She looked up, her brow furrowing. "Alex, what are you wearing?" "This," he said, gesturing to his uniform, "is how I've been spending the evening, watching you, listening to you." Her eyes widened, a mixture of confusion and anger flashing across her face. "What are you talking about?" "I needed to know who you really are," he said. "Not the polished version you show to the world, the real you." Her expression hardened. "And what did you find?" "That you're not the person I thought you were," he replied. "You can be kind and compassionate, but you can also be cold and dismissive. I don't know which version is the real you." Sophia's voice trembled with anger. "You have no right to judge me. Do you have any idea what it's like to live under constant scrutiny? To have everyone expect perfection from you?" "Maybe not," Alex admitted. "But that doesn't excuse treating people like they're beneath you." For a long moment they stood in silence, the tension between them palpable. Finally, Sophia spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know who I am anymore. I've spent so long trying to be what everyone expects that I've lost myself." Alex's heart softened. "Then let's find out together. But you have to be honest with me. No more masks." Sophia hesitated, then nodded. "Okay. I'll try." In the weeks that followed, Sophia began to change. She stepped back from the high society events and threw herself into meaningful charity work. Alex watched as she blossomed, her passion for helping others reigniting. Their relationship grew stronger, built on a foundation of honesty and mutual respect. But the journey wasn't without challenges. Sophia's parents, disapproving of her new path, threatened to cut her off financially. "I don't care," Sophia said one evening, her resolve unwavering. "For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm truly living." Years later, Alex and Sophia stood hand in hand at the grand opening of a community center funded by her charity. As they looked out at the crowd, Alex felt a deep sense of pride, not just in Sophia but in the journey they had taken together. "You've become the person you were always meant to be," he said. Sophia smiled, her eyes shining with gratitude. "And I couldn't have done it without you." This story is a testament to the transformative power of honesty, love, and self-discovery. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring tales. What would you do if faced with the truth about someone you love? Share your thoughts in the comments below.